soon as the enemy got on the stage, the first thing he did, God said this, but don't believe his word. The enemy has always been after God's word.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't believe his word. Don't believe his word. Attacked her faith.
Yeah.
She broke. From the beginning till we get to the end. We're going to just cover in a short amount of time tonight. You're going to see. He started the war off coming after his faith. They're not going to believe you. I don't care. I don't want them to believe you. I don't want them to believe your word. It don't matter. It don't work. The way you set this up is through faith. If I attack their faith, it don't work. Saints, you know what's amazing? It's amazing that this false doctrine is still perpetuated today. You go to false church and they'll say, you could disobey God. The Bible said the wages of sin is what? Death. It's death. Sin brings forth death, separation from God. God is light. The light can't fellowship darkness.
That's right.
False religion will say you can disobey God, you won't die. You're mistaken. Your relationship with God is not broke. You're fine. This false doctrine was way back here. And you can turn on your radio, internet today, and you hear the same thing today. You can disobey God. You can disobey God. So we see from the very beginning, it was the fight of faith. Now let's go to, that was the beginning of time. Now let's look at the beginning of the people of God. It was through a man named Abraham. Go to Genesis chapter number 17, verse number 5. The fight of faith. The fight of faith. The devil started these things off. Don't believe God's word. Don't believe God's word. Genesis 17, read verse 5.
Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations.
Okay, so now God makes a covenant with Abraham and says, through thy seed, I will establish many nations. Go over to verse number 16.
And I will bless her.
Sarah, verse 15 says, Sarah, keep going.
And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her.
So he's going to give a son through Sarah, his wife. And this son, now mind you, you have to understand, during the Hebrew times and the biblical times, there was a direct affinity link between you and your seed, your sons, and the name continuing. So God gave him the greatest honor he could, said, through your seed, my people shall be. So he said, whoa, all right, go over to Genesis chapter 22. Start with verse number 1.
And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham.
Now, mind you, that word tempt there could be better translated try.
Yes, sir.
Try his what? Yes. Watch what happened. Read it.
And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early.
Now, mind you, Abraham tremendously loved Isaac, but there was a direct correlation with there that he was the son of promise.
Yes.
That's where the seed, so there was, you're the one. Okay, I'll tell you this. You can have some principles and some rules or whatever, and you are going to continue them, there will be an affinity to that which you think will continue. That's what who now what that's the seed. That's where I promised you. I said through him. So God goes and says, take thy son. This was not talking about a Google Gaga. Oh my, I love. No. The love was directly affiliated with the promise. So he came and said, take your son where the promise is through, sacrifice him. Go ahead. So now Abraham is sitting there. Yes, it was his son, but deeper, saints, it was the promise. So Abraham is sitting there. God is saying, are you going to do it? It wasn't about his son. It was about, do you believe my word? If I ask you to sacrifice him, then you got to believe that whatever, I'll raise him up. I'll do whatever. Do you really? It's through him. Do you believe it though? Do you perceive? Do you really believe? Then go and sacrifice. You believe it? Go sacrifice him then. Let me see you sacrifice him. Go ahead. That's the problem. That's where you think. I'm bigger than your son. I can do whatever it takes. If I got to raise him up, I'll do it. If I got to do whatever, you got to believe. Will my word still stand when I ask you to sacrifice what you think? The promise is coming through. Go over to Hebrews chapter 11, verse number 19.
My God.
Hebrews 11, go to verse 17, just for a little background, to line up what we're saying here.
By faith, Abraham, when he was tried.
So now, he's tried. God said, sacrifice your son. Abraham grabbed the knife, put him up on the altar, bound. It took faith for him to do that. It took faith for him to believe that even though I'm about to kill him, yet you're going to perform it. Now, I'm going to tell you why it's faith. It's faith because you don't see how it's going to be done. That's the faith. Your faith is really not tried until you're in a situation where you can't see your way through.
All right? Yes.
Until you're in a situation where you ain't got nothing but his word. Nobody's on my side. They want to destroy my name. They want to dog me out. All I got is God's word. I can't even rely on brother so-and-so, sister so-and-so. I can so-and-so got my back. All I got is God. All I got is your word. So if you don't come through for me, I'm done. And if you want me to be done, then I'm done. But Lord, I'm asking you. I'm standing on your word. You all I got. And I believe. I still believe, God. I know your word. It's forever settled in heaven. So Abraham was willing to grab the knife, even though the promise was through him. He yet believed, I'm going to have a nation. She's old. The son wasn't a 5-year-old. It wasn't a 6-year-old. He was a good-sized, good agely man, grown man. So here, it took a miracle. Thank you, Holy Ghost. When he was born, how old was Sarah? 90 years old. So it took faith to believe that Sarah at 90 got it. But Abraham at that moment, his faith was so strong. Sarah at 120 can have it. I'll kill him anyway. If she got to have one at 136 years old, she going to have. Sarah, get ready. Get ready, Sarah. I don't know what he's about to do. But I know that the promise is coming through you. And this is what I thought it was. But if God will choose him, I yet believe that God will do whatever he has to do. And that's what he's talking about in Hebrews 11. Keep reading this.
By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac.
Saints, you see, it wasn't talking about just consecration alone there. It wasn't that, okay, by love for God, Abraham, when he was tried, he loved God so much he was willing to, sometimes we interpreted that. He loved God so much he was willing to give that which meant most to him. That wasn't it. It was faith. Because that was the promise. Go ahead and read it. It'll explain it.
By faith Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. And he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son.
That was all he had. He didn't have other sons by her in order to the promise be fulfilled. Come on and read, sis.
Of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
So it was said, Isaac, the one with Sarah. That's the seed. Come on and read.
Accounting that God was able
him up,
even from the dead.
even from the dead. He said, God, if you calling him and you want him, my Lord, I haven't seen it yet, but I guess you the resurrector too. And I'm going to put him up there. That's how strong Abraham's faith. And you know what God did at that moment? Grabbed the knife, grabbed his arm, said, stop.
That's right.
Now
I know.
I know. Now I know. It was a dark situation. It was no way out. And let me tell you this, before God stamps a certain approval on you, you're going to have a now I know. My God, it's going to look dark. It's going to look like there's no way out. It's going to be things God has promised you, but it looks like there's no way this is going to happen. God, I don't see how this is going to happen. I don't see how it's going to come through. But Lord, I'm yet willing to trust. God said, I was waiting for this. This is what I was waiting on. This is exactly, this trial was all about seeing how far you would go and yet rely on me. When it looked dark as 1,000 midnights, when it looked like there was no way out, would you revert back or would you yet trust? That's with Abraham. So Adam, faith was attacked. He had a fight. Abraham, in order to establish the people of God, it was faith. Now, once the descendants of Abraham had went into Egypt through Jacob, Joshua, Joseph, his brothers, sold him. So now another king arose that knew not Joseph. So they were there for 400 years. God raised up Moses, and watch what the whole people of God coming out was. Go over to Exodus 3:14. So it was a fight of faith with Adam. It was a fight of faith before Abraham was approved. Exodus 3:14.
And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. And God said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, The Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations.
Okay, stop right here. So they were down in Egypt under the bondage of the strongest nation in the world has ever known to that point. Pharaoh. They were going to go out against Pharaoh. And all they had was a promise. He said, I am that I am. But you have to. I'm going to touch it, but I'm going to ask Brother John Wesley to help me out with it. All right. He spoke on this. So, I am in the Hebrew is also Jehovah. Now, with this, it means I am self-existent. Meaning that his beginning is in himself. So they're asking about his record. Where did you come from? It was directly a link between who you came from and the confidence that the people had in you. They would say, who your people? What stock did you come from? We even use some of that today. You run into somebody and you say, oh, you are so-and-so.
That's right.
Okay, so that kind of can let them know a feeling, what they can think of you. So here, God said, I am Jehovah. And the first element of that word meant that I am self-existent. I come from myself. He said, tell them that I am. So the first thing, naturally, it would be a rhetorical conversation. It would be, okay, where did he come? I am. I'm self-existent. I came from myself. I am that I am. Okay? The next point with this. Now I'm going to ask Brother John Wesley to help me out. Okay, the next element of that in the Hebrew would mean Jehovah, self-existent. The next element meant self-sufficient.
Yes, God, my God.
I come from myself, and I only rely on myself. I have everything that I need to have to produce whatever needs to be produced. I am self-sufficient. There is nothing that I cannot supply that you may need. Moses said, God, Pharaoh gonna get it. I got it built to the faith. God said, just give him the shortest sermon in the history of preaching. I am. You ain't got to tell him nothing else. I came for myself. I'm self-sufficient. Everything that they will need, I am. All right, the third piece of this is Jehovah meant he was eternal. Always was and always will be. The word there meant I always, okay, how long you been around? I am. I'm eternal. I've always been. Well, how long is that? Always been. Well, back, I remember back when they had Seth. Before them, well, what about Noah? Before Noah was. Okay, before Adam and Eve was. Well, the earth is not. Before the earth was. Well, how long will you be? I ain't going nowhere. I will abide for, there's no end to me. I always was and I always will be. I came for myself. Follow where we're going now. I came for myself. I'm all sufficient. I got all of it. How much you got? All of it. And I always was and I always will be. All right. Next, he said the word Jehovah there meant and it attributed to his unchangeableness. I am the way I've always been. And yesterday, today, and forever, I will be the same. There's no change. When he said I am, there's no changing in me. I don't change. I won't change. I won't get old. I am the way I was alone. You know, you may have something that's not the way it was in you. I'm the way I was at the beginning, and I will be, always will be this way throughout all eternity. There's no changeableness in me. Lastly, he said, the word there meant that he was faithful and true to his promise. He says, I always was, will always will be, I will not change, and I'm faithful and true to my promise. Let me just read the way that Brother Wesley brought it out. He said, and God said, two names God would now be known. A name that speaks what he is in himself. I am that I am. This explains his Jehovah, his name Jehovah, and signifies first that he is self-existent. He has his being of himself and has no dependency upon any other. And being self-existent, he cannot but be self-sufficient and therefore all-sufficient and the inexhaustible fountain of being and bliss. Also, that he is eternal and unchangeable, always the same yesterday, today, and forever. He will be what he will be and what he is, and that he is faithful and true to all his promises, unchangeable in his word as well as in his nature, and not a man that he should lie. Let Israel know this I am have sent me to you. A name that speaks what he is to his people, lest that name I should puzzle them. He is Father direct to make us another name of God more familiar. So there, all Moses had was I am. I am changed Pharaoh's heart. I am led them by a pillar,
Yes.
a fire by night, a cloud by day. I am caused their clothes not to wear out, shoes not to rust out. I am opened up the Red Sea. I am put Pharaoh between, drowned Pharaoh and all of his army. I am fed them manna. I am led them and guided them to build the tabernacle. I am gave them instruction. I am, and he kept going all the way. So it was started as a people with the promises. Time fails us, so we'll just touch.
Bless the Lord.
Joshua and Caleb, when they were going through, the only thing that separated them from everybody else is faith. And saints, the only thing that separates you from everybody else. And you may say, well, what about if someone sinned? Well, that's a lack of faith.
Yes.
A trial came, your faith failed you. You didn't rely on the grace of God. You didn't rely on the grace of God to bring you through. The Bible said, unto him that's able to keep us from falling. So here, Joshua and Caleb separated themselves through faith, saying that God is well able. Also, David and Goliath,
Yes.
that was about faith. They were afraid. But David had faith. And his faith was predicated on his prior experiences. David came and said, this uncircumcised brother, you ain't fighting against us, you're fighting against God. Talking to the pastor earlier in the week, and we were going through his experience and his ministry. And I told him, and there may be variance of opinion, but I just said that your faith should be at an all-time high. I said, what I'm seeing God do for you at this phase of your ministry is the greatest manifestation that I've seen God hand on you. I appreciate Anderson when you were there and had to go against this system. I appreciate how those that stood strong at Newark proclaiming 2 works of grace stood. And God, the most influential ministers in America, all and infiltrated his congregation. Told me one time that he came, one of his pillars had got a hold to this false teaching. He was praying, went to the house, and they had what the Bible teaches over. And he comforted him. But God had to bring him through that. And even when he left Anderson and stood here, some people not wanting to stand fully on the gospel, turned him in, took the big tried to do it. Faith. Faith. Then they had to go find another camp meeting. They wanted to mix and swap wives and all that. Faith. Those that didn't want to stand for faith. But I said, what I've seen God do for you in this 4th quarter of your ministry, in this 9th inning, brother, your faith should be at an all-time high. Anything that touches you almost. I said, brother, and what gets me is just not fighting.
Yeah.
I'm almost, you can swing it, just say a little bit. Just defend yourself a little. Don't get and I get one of these phone calls, don't get distracted. I'm like, well, maybe you want to just tell her, don't get distracted. Don't stay right. Don't get distracted. Contend for the faith, and God will bring you through. So here, as we do, we'll close with this. Go over to Revelation 6. I couldn't even go through the prophets Elijah, Daniel, Christ. There was all faith. They rejected him. They didn't believe he was the Messiah. The Jews rejected. It was all faith. Christ believed. John the Baptist believed he's coming. They didn't believe him. Isaiah said, who has believed our report? The book of Acts. As soon as they first sermon, what they pointed back, Christ was the Messiah, who y'all crucified. Stephen, his message pointed them back. They said, how do we get saved? Somebody said, believe in the word of Jesus, then you shall be saved. It takes faith to get saved. Come on and read. Revelation 6, verse 1 as we close.
And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals.
I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals.
And I heard. As it were the noise of thunder.
As it were the noise of thunder.
One of the 4 beasts saying.
One of the 4 beasts saying.
Come and see.
Come and see.
And I saw.
Amen.
And behold, a white horse.
My Lord, you know you're in an inspiring environment When you're talking to somebody, they say, what about, just come and see. Just come and see. Come with your heart open and see if God don't speak to your heart. Come hungry. Come hungry and see if God don't satisfy and quench that hunger. Come and see, amen. Come on and read.
And I saw and behold a white horse.
Now the horse represented militancy. In the books, Old Testament, they talk about they bought the horses. The horses was an animal of battle. They bring forth the horse. So horse represents the fight of faith. Watch where we're going with this. Come on and read.
And I saw and behold a white horse.
Come on.
And he that sat on him had a bow.
So he's in war. He's in a battle. And he's got a bow. Now, mind you, we must teach real quickly on the principle of interpretation. Christ can't contradict himself and remain and maintain his validity. He told them the weapons of our warfare are not what? Carnal. The apostle said the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Jesus told them put your swords up, so on and so forth. My kingdom don't fight like that. So he's talking about something different than just a bow and arrow. All right? Keep going.
And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow.
That's all he had. Come on and read it.
And a crown was given unto him.
And a crown. If you got a bow in your hand, you're going to have a crown.
Amen.
Come on and read it.
And he went forth conquering and to conquer.
So he had a crown. He went forth conquering and to conquer. And all he had was a bow. Let's go over to Genesis chapter 9 and Habakkuk chapter 3. Genesis 9. Read verse 13.
I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth.
Come on and read it.
And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant,
Yes.
which is between me and you, and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall no more become a flood
All
to
right.
destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be
Stop
in
right
the
there.
cloud.
Why do we take this and read it every morning? The covenant that God made with us. A covenant is an agreement between two parties.
Yes, sir.
If you do your end of the covenant, I'll do my end.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Go over that back up. We're closing. We're done. Go over that back up 3, verse number 8. Habakkuk 3, verse 8. Come on and read.
Back to 3:8.
Yes.
The silver is. No.
Take your time. That's one of the small books.
3. It's only. Oh, I got the wrong one. Okay. Was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? And was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation? Thy bow was made quite naked, according to the oaths of the tribes, even thy word, Selah.
Stop. Thy bow, according to thy oath, even thy what? Word.
Thy word, even thy
This
word.
is what? God's word. His promises, his covenant to us. The white horse went forth conquering and to conquer. All it had was the bow, the covenant, the promises of God. Every situation that it faced, it stayed white. Purity, righteous. It stayed right. And I'm going to stand on the promise. I'm going to stay right in my soul. And I'm going to stand on the promise. I'm going to stay right in my soul. And I'm going to stand on my promise. When you stand right in your soul and you stand on the promises, you have a bow, you have a crown on your head. The crown represents victory. And our battle in this age, right before the second coming of Christ, is a fight of faith to stay on that white horse. Ride off on that white horse. stay right in our souls, stand on the promises of God, build our faith to rely fully on it, and we'll ride off that white horse at the end. It's a fight of faith. This time we turn over to our pastor.